Lock this! I need training!
So you want to learn to play Master Cat? Well, guess what? You're in the right place, because I'm going to show you how.
Hello! People call me the Wandering Swordmaster, Nomad Cat, or Master Cat. I was waiting for you.
So this first part of this video is going to be geared toward beginners. Since builds drastically alter a character, we won't be getting into those until later. We're just going to get into basic combos here. So Master Cat is a combo character, but his combos are also very simple here, and I have 3. So this first one is just the aerial skill followed by the attack. Solid approach option, you'll find yourself using that a lot, as well as this combo here, which is your basic bread and butter. Skill, attack, aerial skill, attack. And you could also, any combo, you could really finish with a finisher, but you might find yourself using it on the bread and butter more often there. So this third combo, even though it's untrue, the cool thing about this combo is that it fully charges your ultimate, which requires you to land 5 hits, right? So it's air attack, ground attack, then your bread and butter combo with an ultimate finisher.
It's time to unsheath my sword!
So while combos are important, they are not the end-all be-all, right? It's also how you pilot a character that can make a world of difference, right? So we're going to dedicate this section here to playstyle. So first off, while Master Cat is more of a combo heavy character, that doesn't mean he can't also kind of zone other characters out, right? He does have some very disjointed attacks, specifically his basic attack or the poke and the ultimate, which you see right here. It's a great idea to follow up your basic attack with an ultimate like that, especially when you can guarantee a kill off of it, right? By the way, the air version of the poke has less knockback, making it a lot easier to combo into. So my second tip for you guys is to not be afraid to use that ultimate whenever you get a chance to do so. Master Cat's ultimate is unique in the fact that it charges differently than other ultimates. It's not on a timer, right? It's tied to how many hits you land, right? And it has this decaying meter. Now the upside of it is if you can land the hits, it's one of the fastest charging ultimates in the game, and you can throw it out like no tomorrow. The downside of it is that if you don't use it, you lose it. Now my last bit of advice for you guys is regarding the use of your skill, right? So your skill has about a 1 second cooldown, which is super low, right? So keep in mind that you don't always have to use it as an attack. You can also use it as a movement tool. Alrighty guys, so your fundamentals are solid and you've gotten Master Cat to level 10. Well, congratulations, because you've just earned your right to the build portion of this video here. And how we're going to do that is we're going to talk about the things that you may want to use with Master Cat so that you can maybe even decide to make your own custom build, right? But I will be providing sample builds for you guys if you don't want to do all that. Now, first off is the spell slot. Now, I have 2 different recommendations depending on what kind of playstyle you want. If you're looking for a more aggressive playstyle, I'm going to recommend Rupture here. Rupture is a spell that's really great on combo characters. It's just one of those things you activate and you get all this extra damage without thinking about it. And the cool thing is, with each hit, it kind of refreshes the duration that Rupture lasts, right? So as long as you stay aggressive, you can keep Rupture going for a really long time. Now, if you're looking for a more all-round or defensive playstyle, then I'm gonna have to recommend Grace here. Now, Grace is really great on Master Cat because he has this ability that really synergizes well with it. Now, ideally you want to activate Grace before you take a lot of damage. Say you get caught in a combo, that's when you want to activate Grace. As for Master Cat's abilities, I think all of them have a use case, so we're just going to cover them all. Now, Tranquility is really awesome because as long as you can manage to keep your HP above 50%, you get a whopping damage buff. And it applies to everything, including your ultimate. As an ability, it synergizes really well with Master Cat's other abilities. Maybe you want to run it with Invincible Spirit so you can keep your HP above 50%. Or maybe you want to run it with Mind Focus or Infinite Blows so you can double dip your damage buffs. Just don't forget about this guy, alright? Now, Mind Focus, that bumps your damage depending on how many ultimate stacks you have, which is going to be that little number that you get every time you hit an enemy. Now, unfortunately, Mind Focus does not apply to the ultimate as the ultimate uses up those stacks, which is why I wouldn't pair it with Infinite Blows. Instead, I'd probably pair it with Tranquility or Swift Steps. Okay, now we're on to Swift Steps. Swift Steps not only extends your stack duration by a second, but also improves your movement speed whenever you have your ultimate available. Movement speed's good for getting items, rushing zoners down, avoiding attacks. Moving on. Invincible Spirit does one of two things. First, when you eliminate an opponent, it heals you a percentage of your HP. Now second, it gives you a shield on your ultimate that reduces damage. Now your ultimate already has super armor, it's just that in team games, this extra shield can really cut down damage from other players attacking you from behind. Now last but not least, we have Infinite Blows, and this just simply increases the damage our ultimate does. Now if you really want to pump your ultimate damage, pair this with Tranquility. Now because enchantments are in a gacha system, you're just going to have to use the best option that you have at the time. But assuming you have the luxury of choosing, I would choose either Vanguard or Relentless Lightning. Especially if it's at level 9, but you know. Vanguard's great for taking opponents down to a range where they can be knocked out. And Relentless Lightning's great on combo characters and getting coincidental AoE damage. Now as for defensive enchantments, I'd pick either Second Wind, Strike Barrier, or Unyielding. Second Wind's great in duels and pairs really well with Tranquility to keep your HP above 50%. Strike Barrier is also good with Tranquility, but can only be used in team modes. Now, Unyielding's a weird one, but could admittedly have some pretty cool usage. I'd use this if I'm not using Tranquility. Now, last but not least, we'll be taking a look at runes. For your core runes, I have a couple options. Steel Breath is really good for stally builds. If you run this with Grace, you'll be running a double barrier, making you extra safe. Trophy Collector is great for team modes. It allows you to ramp up your damage the more you eliminate. I'd run this in a team mode build. Now my last pick would be Declare Pursuit, which would be great for a rushdown build. What it does is it marks an opponent and you deal increased damage upon attacking that opponent. Even in team play, this could be really useful against certain characters. Okay, on to attack runes. Striving Spirit's a really solid choice for stall builds or really long game modes. Technical Training is super solid because a big majority of your damage comes from your skills. You could put this on anything really. And Hunt the Weak applies to your ultimate and is suitable for rushdown. Now for defense runes. Uplift is a solid choice for long game modes and stall builds. Endurance synergizes really well with Tranquility. You could use it in any build that uses that. Parry's great for more of a rushdown style build, getting in close. And Take a Breather could be a really interesting option for those who like to disengage from battle for a bit. Alright, now that we've covered everything, I got some sample builds to show you. So this first build is called Stallcat, and it's built around the ability Tranquility. The idea is that we're going to keep our HP above 50% by playing as defensive as possible here. You have a double barrier in Steel Breath and Grace. Second Wind also helps out Tranquility, and then we also have the stalling runes Striving Spirit and Uplift. The idea is to run around as much as possible, only initiating the enemy when we have Steel Breath available. Grace is going to be our get out of jail free card when we get caught. Oh, and don't forget about Invincible Spirit. That's going to keep your HP above that 50% margin. This build makes Master Cat really feel like a master samurai. I call this next build Catnip Warrior, right? So this is a speedy rushdown build. So first off, Swift Steps is going to help Mind Focus stay alive by extending that stack duration. It's also going to help keep Rupture alive by closing the distance to your opponents a lot quicker. It's also going to help with Declare Pursuit and pursuing high priority evasive targets. You also have Vanguard and Hunt the Weak that work in conjunction with one another to really pile on the damage. Defensive rune is Parry because we're going to stick to the opponent's light clue, and we have Unyielding as our get out of jail free card. This build makes Master Cat feel like a demon-possessed warrior. Alright, I got one final build to show you, and this one is going to be called One for All. Ahem. Meow. Okay, so just like the Stall Cat build, we have Tranquility and Grace, but instead we have Infinite Blows. We value kill power in this build because we have Trophy Collector there. The more we kill, the stronger we get. Strike Barrier is going to synergize with Tranquility in two parts because it's going to provide us with a barrier and it's also going to provide us with healing, and that's going to keep our HP above that 50% margin. Now, Relentless Lightning, that's just going to provide us with coincidental damage in the team setting there. As for our runes, we opted for Technical Training for increased skill damage to get the ball rolling, and then Endurance because Endurance really pairs well with Tranquility. Now this build makes you feel like you're a warrior who wreaks havoc on the battlefield. Alrighty guys, so that concludes my tutorial on Master Cat. I hope you guys learned something and you get out there and you just have a good time, alright?
My sword is still as good as new. Call me whatever you want. Anything except Kitty.